eighth grade. How do you say I'm sorry in Oneida? I think it's Wagenha. I think I'm saying that correctly. Wagenha for our class getting cut off yesterday. I made a little mistake at the end of yesterday's video. So instead of having a traditional conclusion to my class, the video kind of just cut off. So I kind of figured it's like, like you know how sometimes it happens in class where Mrs. Ash loses track of time and all of a sudden the bell rings and we don't have any more time together. I thought, okay, we'll just end like that because I already was out 12 minutes into the video. I had given you a lot of information already. So I contemplated going back and redoing the video and then making it even longer or just continuing with today's lesson. So I decided on the latter, continuing with today's lesson. I had already given you enough information. So hopefully you began drafting yesterday. That was your assignment for yesterday, to begin drafting. And you're going to continue that today. So let's take a look at Wednesday's assignment. It's pretty much the same as yesterday's. I just want to show you at the end of yesterday's video, I started to show you how I use that Newsella article as a mentor text, and I'll continue that in today's lesson. So Wednesday, these two learning targets are going to be our main focus right here. I can introduce a topic clearly for an informative text, previewing what is to follow, and I can organize ideas, concepts, and information into broader categories in an informative text. So here is your assignment. Watch this video first so you know what to do. The reading part of this assignment is to continue to research, reading articles, blog posts, or any available materials on the subject of your choice, making sure that your sources are credible. So wherever you get your information from, making sure that it's a credible source. And we practiced that a few months ago back in the real classroom. And all of you are really good at that. Here's the main part of your assignment. You're going to continue working on your rough draft for your informational writing piece. If any of you would like to have a writing conference where you just want to talk one-on-one where you are with your writing, how your research went, if you're stuck on any parts, if you just need a little bit help or motivation, email me and we can set up a writing conference through a Google Meet. So just let me know and we'll make that happen. Remember, so today's Wednesday. Today's your last day of drafting. Tomorrow you will be revising. Your last day will be editing. And then it's like your last middle school project for ELA. It's due on Friday. So anytime between now and Friday, if you want to set up a Google Meet so we can just look at what you have and make sure you're headed in the right direction, I'm happy to do that. Just email me and let me know. Again, the speak is the same as yesterday. Sometimes it's a lot easier if before you get started on your draft that you talk to somebody about it and just get those ideas flowing out of you. And then when you come to your notebook or you come to your Chromebook, your Google Doc, your ideas just pour out onto the page. So that's a good idea to rehearse what you're going to write and run it past somebody at home. So you might want to try that strategy as well. So let's go ahead and take a look. Yesterday, what Mrs. Ash was trying to show you was my rough draft here. And you can see that I have broken it down. I have the title, and then I have these subtitles. I'm not going to call this subtitle intro. I just wanted to make sure that I included it in there. So I used this Newsella article as a mentor text. And even just look at the title. The title that this author uses for this piece of nonfiction writing is Notorious Victoria, the first woman to run for president. And then I tried to kind of do the same thing in my own title, John Trudell, political activist, poet, and musician. Maybe I'll use an adjective, Notorious Victoria. Maybe I'll give John Trudell, and I'll call him, I don't know. I might use some adjective, powerful or motivating Trudell or motivating John. I don't know. Maybe I'll when I do my revision, maybe I'll think about changing the title up just to make it a little bit more interesting. But that was the first thing I did. I used that title. And then I liked how this author, you can see, starts out with an introduction. And it talks about in 2016, Hillary Clinton made history when she became the first woman to be the presidential nominee in a major political party, but she was not the first woman to run as a presidential candidate. The honor belongs to Victoria Claflin Woodhull. So, and then it gives a little bit of background information. So this writer right here is definitely demonstrating this learning target right here. I can introduce a topic clearly for an informative text, previewing what is to follow. So introduce the topic and kind of just give a little taste of what the rest of the piece of writing is going to be about. Notice how Mrs. Ash tries to do that in my writing piece here. I introduce the subject and give a little bit of preview of what this text is going to be about. So, born February 15th, 1946, near the Santee Sioux Reservation in Nebraska, John Trudell became an important political activist that used his powerful voice to bring about positive change to the American Indian community. So notice how I introduce John Trudell, where he's from, where he was born, and then I'm previewing what is to come. What's the big deal about John Trudell? Well, he became an important political activist that used his powerful voice to bring about positive change to the American Indian community. Just a brief overview, and now you know what the rest, here's my thesis statement that previews what the rest of the text is going to be about. So, okay, I stated that he is an important political activist that used his powerful voice to bring about positive change. Well, how? Let's see. That's my next. You can see this subtitle right here. How did John Trudell bring about positive change? And my subtitle is The Subject of American Indian Rights. So my next paragraph says, Trudell was a political activist. He was the national spokesperson for the Indians of all tribes occupation of Alcatraz and was the national chairman for AIM from 1973 to 1979. So how did he bring about positive change? Here's some details right here. Remember, I'm using description, so I'm describing some of the groups that he was involved in. And then I need some more information. So I entitled my next subtitle, Activism Brought Attention to Issues. And as I was writing this, I went back to, remember I shared my notes with you. They're down here too. As I was writing each one of the subsections, I went back to my notes and thought, how can I use this information for this section? So I really kept going back to, so the notes that you take when you do your research, that's super important. They're really going to help you organize your thoughts and give details in each of your paragraphs. Activism brought about issues, attention to issues. How? The movement in which Trudell led brought worldwide attention to the plight of American Indians. This laid the groundwork for the other movements, and he's still an inspiration today. So a bit more information. And then in the margin, it's hard to see. You can see it a little bit right here. I wanted to talk about the Coast Guard station, and I just wanted to remind myself when I start the revision process, I think I want to add a little bit more information about the Coast Guard station here in Milwaukee, and you'll see that in tomorrow's video, how I add that in my revisions. Then my last subtitle is Death and Legacy. And I said Trudell died on December 8th, 2015, but the message of his powerful words still live on and inspire many today. And you can see how that's kind of a conclusion right there. I conclude with his death, but even though he has walked on, his legacy still continues today. So you can see I use that last paragraph as a conclusion paragraph as well. So today you're going to continue to work on your draft. Again, if you have any questions, please email me. If you want to have a writers conference, that's the word I'm looking for, just email me and we will set up a Google Meet. Happy writing, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Guna lunkwa.